What is up? This is Jeff
Play.
here with co-host Chip. We're here on the chain. What is going on, everybody out there in the on the chain community? What's going on, Chip? I'll tell you what is going on. Shocking collusion. That's what it is. But when you hear about it, it probably won't be that shocking. Crypto controversies. Also not very controversial. Well, actually, very controversial, but not shocking. Crypto controversies and election scandals that lead to crypto controversies and shocking collusion. Everything you need to know right here, right now.
But we're afraid to ask.
But we're afraid to talk about it.
Reread the post on X. You don't have to. Ready to go? Let's go.
Let's go.
I haven't played that one in a while. Dun, 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 dun. Guys, where are you coming in from today? Where are you going? What are you doing? What is happening exactly? Where is everybody? What's going on?
Where is everybody? It threw them off with that special live stream that we broadcasted earlier on the election security, election integrity.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys caught that.
People are happy about watching it because you never get to see behind the scenes that actually things are actually happening. And there were people tuning in from all over the country that spoke, from Arizona, from Georgia, from Philadelphia. They were all over talking about what they're doing behind the scenes to try to hold the elections honest and
right on. Well, speaking of that, you know, we had Kamala Harris. You have to say Kamala if you say Kamala. Kamala. It's the same thing.
Kamala.
Mama Kamala. So this was new today. 80 pages of outlining Kamala Harris and Tim Waltz, better known as Kamalama Ding Dong and Tampon Tim. That's their nicknames. Economic plan. 80 pages of an economic plan. This sounds like gibberish, right? Digital assets mentioned once on page 56 alongside AI, and it's exactly the same statement she gave over the weekend at the Wall Street fundraiser, right? And so if you look at it, Jeff, fundraiser. It's fun and it's a riser. So
it's fun and it's rising.
Strategy includes both investing in emerging technologies and modernizing traditional industries. It will also encourage innovative technologies like AI and digital assets while protecting our consumers and investors. And of course, I chimed in. I'm like, it's just more of the same. Encourage innovative technologies like AI and digital assets. Encourage innovative tech like. So you're not going to actually encourage that. You're going to encourage tech, like that kind of tech, but not necessarily that tech. But why is it encouraged, Jeff? And what does that exactly mean? And then if you look at the second half of that statement, it perfectly aligns with letting the SEC continue to destroy crypto while protecting our consumers and investors. This is right out of Gary Gensler's freaking playbook, Jeff. This sentence right here.
Gary loves protecting consumers and investors.
We don't need his protection. We don't want
it. That's exactly what he offers.
We should ask Brock. Definitely something Gensler would say, right? I mean, 100% something Gensler would say. So, like, you break the statement down. Encourage innovative technologies like. It doesn't even say encourage AI or encourage digital assets. They don't use the word crypto. Use digital assets. The whole thing is ridiculous, Jeff. If you think Kamala Harris is going to be a pro crypto, you're out of your effing minds, people. You don't, and the crypto bros are like, yeah,
she's going to do it.
Ro Khanna, I mean, God bless him. He tries hard enough, but he's a lost soul. He's Congressman Ro Khanna out of California. Congressman Ro Khanna just told Fox Business that he was encouraged by her encouraging digital assets and AI, like digital assets. He was encouraged. So he was encouraged by Harris's recent statement saying the world would encourage innovative technologies like. It's not what she didn't say she would encourage. What does that mean, encourage, Jeff? She's going to.
It means nothing. You know what it means? Subscribe and hit the bell notification.
There you go. That's what it means.
That's what we encourage you to do. We encourage you
That's a good kind of encourage.
We love innovative subscribe clicks. And
we like to encourage you to click. If we said we would like to encourage you to subscribe, subscribe. No, we want you to subscribe. We're not like, subscribe.
We encourage things like subscribing,
following, or
and clicking the
subscribing.
bell notification. Sometimes we encourage you to unsubscribe, but those are rare circumstances.
The people just do that. They don't need any encouragement. Google doesn't need any encouragement. They just take it away.
Google
says, look, you can't be against Bitcoin or crypto. It's like saying I'm against the iPhone or I'm against the laptop. It's just technology. Yes, we need smart regulation, but it's a modern store of value and a modern payment system. It's a modern version of gold for a lot of young people. Is that the most out of touch, stupid, ridiculous statement you've ever heard? It's like saying I'm against the iPhone.
The whole thing is very bizarre, I would say. Very generically bizarre.
These people are just stupid, Jeff. That's what I'm convinced. But all I know is Ed is down with OTC.
Who's down with OTC?
That's all we need to know, really. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate that. Yes, more applause.
Yay.
Yay. Moving on. Mark Cuban. This is so rich right here, okay? We're going to look at this thing about Ritchie Torres did a great job. Ritchie Torres is the champion on the Dem side, right? I don't even know why he should be a Dem anymore. Be honest with you. I don't know
how he still is a Dem. I mean, everywhere he stands, it's almost like Fetterman. We saw where Fetterman finally came out, but Ritchie Torres, same thing. He's consistently on the not even just a little bit outside, completely polar opposite in opinion from 99.9% of the Democrats at this point.
Well, especially
nobody's outspoken
Israel.
like him.
He's like, Israel has the right to defend itself. The rest of the freaking Dems, no. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And then he's real. And there are some, like, I get Ro Khanna. Like, Ro Khanna's always like, look, Ro Khanna's the guy that wants to be known as the crypto dude. But Ritchie Torres is the guy that actually proves it when he gets into and we'll play the video, when he actually hammers the crap out of Gary Gensler. But Ro Khanna's like, I want to carry the flag. I want to wave the flag around. Yay. You know, he's the guy that wants to be the poster boy, but he's not cutting it, man. He's like, I'm encouraged by the fact that she's encouraged. We're all encouraged that everyone's encouraged. What a cop-out.
Everybody's very encouraged. I'm encouraged about things like that.
See, everyone's encouraged about being encouraged. You know, it's kind of like I always tell people, like, well, I'll try to get that done by the end of the day. I said, fair enough. I'm going to try to deposit $1 million into your bank. I'm going to wire it in there today. I'm going to try to do that. Do you think you're going to have it? Yes or no? Zero.
I'm going to encourage it.
I'm going to try to go to the moon next week. It's like when people say, like, try, I'm going to encourage. What does that mean? It's useless. You either do or you don't.
I just got our notification that we're streaming live.
Let me see if I got mine on my phone.
Took 8 minutes.
Nope. I got my podcast notifications. I got 0, Jeff. 0 notifications.
Ben Chicken says, what's up, Brennan?
Ben Chicken.
Are you hanging out with the Ben Chicken?
The Ben Chicken. We're going to have a good time next year with the Ben Chickens. We got a plan.
Rob said, don't put him in Seattle because I said, what's up, Seattle? And he said, that's not where he's at. Oh, you just saw him today? You didn't
Ben Chicken. Look at this. I talked to the Harris team today who told me, and these are other words on it, in no uncertain terms. What does that mean? In no uncertain terms. That's the whole problem. They are uncertain terms, like suggested and encouraged, in no uncertain terms that they are against regulation by litigation. Really?
Who told me in no uncertain terms that they are against regulation through litigation?
And why don't you call
me in who told me that they are against? Why do you have to say all of that where it gets confusing and convoluted? Because maybe they didn't tell him that. Maybe
because there are no certain terms or uncertain.
There's no certain terms.
There's no certain terms.
Told me they're 100% today. Who told me they're 100% against regulation through? I don't understand the way he talks. This doesn't make sense to me.
Here's what I don't understand. You are the sitting vice president. You get out there to the podium and you go, after you do that cackle laugh, you say, today, I'm going to say that what's been unburdened by what has been, we will ask right now to have Gary Gensler unburden himself from the role of the SEC chair. And I am demanding his resignation because we are against, in no uncertain terms, regulation through litigation. No uncertain terms, Jeff.
Look how Ritchie Torres was hammering.
Oh, we're going to play that video. We'll play that video.
But Mark Cuban, I don't.
See a Gensler. What is?
So he's going to say, see again, while he's supporting Harris, and Harris, who is going to decimate the economy. Just based on where we're at now, she's going to do nothing for positive growth.
Oh, no.
So 3.5, 4 years, we've seen a complete degradation of our economy, a complete degradation of our U.S. domestic security, and a complete degradation of international security. So global scale, we're closer to wars than ever. We're seeing and witnessing major wars, unfold. We're seeing the emboldening of Iran. We're seeing all these things have happened under the weak, feckless leadership that's in office right now. And she is part of that leadership. So how do you go from, the things are horrible right now because she was part of the team that made it horrendous, but somehow she's going to improve it. I don't understand how Mark Cuban is trying to latch on to this horrible scenario where all of a sudden she's going to be against regulation through litigation. I call BS on that. I don't care what they say. Everything they've said over the past week and a half, 2 weeks broadcasting is a complete flip-flop narrative on everything that we've seen for the past 4 years. And there's video to prove exactly where she stands because she's going to come out. There's no interviews. It's all just propaganda. We don't need another debate because you put them on a debate stage. It's complete BS. Let's have 70 interviews. Trump, he's on an interview like every single day. Harris, nothing. So interview her and actually dig in on the interview. Don't just give her patsy questions and talk about ice cream and rainbows and candied nuts or whatever they want to talk about.
It's funny because there's been a lot of clips I've watched off CNN where they become pretty. I was watching one today and she's like, I have to say that she just gives garbage answers. Like she doesn't answer the question, right? I mean, this is CNN talking about this. So he says, see a Gensler. Now, if he had this talk with no uncertain terms, now, do you think that if the vice president, because, no one even knows what's going on with Biden. No one knows who's running the country. Nobody. At this point, people are fed up and they don't care, right? But she's like the vice president. She comes out. So is Nancy Pelosi going to support you? Is she going to run to the mic and say, we need Gary Gensler gone now? Is it going to be, Miss Sweetheart blowing kisses to Sam Bankman-Fried? Is she going to jump up to the mic and say, we support her? Now, is Elizabeth Warren going to come forward and say, right? Come on, Jeff. You're just gaslighting the shit out of us, right? Your leaving is worth the point in GDP growth. Well, listen, Mark Cuban.
That's even worse.
And I will give Mark. Listen, there's parts of Mark Cuban that I like. Okay, because I don't like his politics, but he's done good things for making drugs affordable. He's got a pretty good sense of humor. But I just don't care for this. What is all this stuff? Chris was showing up.
Chris just popped up.
Yeah, Chris is doing weird stuff. I don't think
Chris said I'm silencing you. Shoom.
You are silenced. You are silenced.
You might not even have it on. Check your microphone.
No, it's not on. It's not on.
You might even have the wrong mic on.
I might have the wrong mic on. You should be able to tell, but you're not able to tell for some reason. I don't know why you're not able
because of the way I have my settings over here. It makes everything louder. But if you go in there, it's typically crisp.
But it's not today. What is it?
There's a little bit of a tin sound to it.
Yeah, I don't know. Does that sound better or no?
Oh yeah, 1,000 times better. Oh my god!
Why don't you tell me at the beginning of the show instead of me like going?
Because I'm realizing it as you start talking. As soon as that popped up, it made sense.
Why don't you guys say in the chat, man? No wonder Crisp came up. It's like, hey, you're not even doing.
I'm gonna make you do a sound check before I.
So yeah, well, I do a sound check. We talk for like 20 minutes before the show.
Maybe that's why it's like. I mean, it's like you're loud, but now it's like different.
So I had to respond to this. Spoke to the Harris team. You mean the Harris team that flip-flopped on fracking, border security, and Trump's tax cuts? Is that the Harris team you spoke with? Laughable at best. So why wouldn't the sitting VP call for Gensler's resignation? She has no intention of firing Gensler and even said she'd make him Treasury Secretary if she wins. That was a rumor that got floated, and like she's like, no, we never said. Of course you're gonna come out and say that. Yeah, it's like one of those trial balloons where you float it out there to see if anybody like bites on it, and if you get like negative stuff, you're like, we never intended to. Anyone got some prime swampland in Florida sell, Mr. Cuban? Because he's a true believer, despite everything that's happened over the past 4 years. He doesn't give a rat's behind because he's insulated. He doesn't know. You remember who was it? George Bush when they told him to go out and buy gas. Like he didn't know how to. It was George, the father. What was his name? George Bush Sr. or whatever. George H. Bush. Remember, he went out. He couldn't buy milk. He didn't know how to use a scanner he didn't even know how to buy like milk. He was so out of touch. That's Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban is definitely out of touch now.
He's out of touch. And then we have this one here.
Out of touch with reality based on that. Based on everything that he said. Oh, this is
where he redeems himself and he gets a little bit of credit, because honestly, one of the things that he has in common with Trump is the self-deprecating humor. They will make fun of themselves, and it diffuses everything, right? It's a great way if somebody calls you an asshole, like, well, what kind of an asshole? Like how big? I'm probably bigger asshole. Whatever it might be, if you can diffuse that, this is where I think Mark Cuban is funny. He says, so Babylon Bee puts out a story that Mark Cuban inspires thousands by proving even the very retarded can become wealthy. And you know what Mark Cuban tweeted out? If I can do it, you can do it. So that's like, like, I don't care what you think about him. I'm like, that's funny, man. It's like that made it funny. Vivek
he's a funny guy. Yeah. A lot of times I like listening to him.
I did too. I like them. I like listening to him, and I just. But
this guy, the guy's but it's not just politics. The guy's got full retard now. I mean, it's just like, look at the direction that it even says it right there. The direction that the fact that he's willing to prop up the Harris candidate is bizarre to me.
Well, Joe Biden, now think about this, Jeff. Joe Biden, okay, he's got some kind of dementia, right? He's old, right? He's like we can laugh and joke about it, but it's kind of sad. It's like elder abuse at this point. Like the guy he's not all there. He's not the same Joe Biden as 10 years ago. He's not the angry Joe Biden. I'm from Delaware and I'm a Delaware kid and I did this, and but he's completely gone, right? But now Harris, what's her excuse? She's dumber than a box of rocks, Jeff. You can take a box of rocks and stick it next to it. Neither one of them does interviews, right?
Well, that and she's drunk. There's something definitely off about her on a regular basis now. It's
the weird cackling at times.
Very, very bizarre.
Zero substance, Jeff. I mean, like, really, there's a lot that's completely missing there. And I think what we have to do with Play in Order right now is I think we've got to put the Ritchie Torres thing out there, because
we definitely have to pull that up.
He is just
hammered.
Guy's great, man. Here we go.
For 5 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Gensler, suppose I were to...
He's like, he just can't wait to rip into this bitch. It's like, look at the smile. You just got to look at the smile. Mr. Gensler? And Gensler knows it's coming, man. You better be ready for it, because Torres is going to rip you a new one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Gensler, suppose I were to sell you a Yankee ticket and tell you that the Yankee ticket could appreciate in value and could be resold at a profit in the secondary market. And as is the case with all sports tickets, suppose the proceeds from the sale of the Yankee ticket goes toward paying for the Yankee game. By selling you the Yankee ticket, am I entering into an investment contract with you and therefore conducting an unregistered security offering?
What a beautiful setup, right?
What a great point.
He's teeing it up right now, and it's all the Howey test, right? Expectation of a product from a third party, right? The whole thing. He's teeing it up for Gensler. And how do you think Gensler is going to respond? What will Gensler, Gary Goofy Gensler say?
Well, Gary's going to laugh first.
I appreciate the question. I don't.
That's what you first do. First of all, you have to appreciate the question. I'm not going to talk about any particular digital assets, do a lot of hand waving, a lot of this stuff.
Know all the facts and circumstances, but I don't think so. I
don't know all the facts and circumstances of the purchase.
You never know. He just gave you the facts. He just gave you the circumstance. He delivered the facts and the circumstances on a plate. Here you go. He's right here. I don't know what. Again, he just told you. But he doesn't know everything about it, right? It's a hypothetical, so he wants to know the specifics of a hypothetical. This is what a weird nut job he is.
Representative, but
you see how he's laughing? He thinks he's dodged it. He's like, I'm cool.
I don't think so in that Yankee.
So a Yankee ticket is not, and why is a Yankee ticket not a security?
Well, it's really a question, and the courts have been clear on this, is the offer and sale.
Specifically with a Yankee ticket, though. When you're buying a Yankee ticket, what are you purchasing?
You're buying
access to a Yankee game. Is that fair to say?
I understand. It's been a while since I went to a Yankee game, but
Fair enough.
that's.
You're welcome to
I
a
used
Yankee
to,
game.
I used to live in New York, and my three daughters were all born in New
So
York.
in the Stoner Cats case, the creators were selling an NFT that offered access to an animated web series.
Joey brought Ashton Kutcher's Stoner Cats.
Yep.
Is this an amazing world where you get to say the word Stoner Cats? It was a cartoon about
In Congress.
it was a cartoon about stone cats.
Yep.
I mean, this is like what happens on Celebrity Minds. The stone cats would go on adventures, and you had to buy the NFT to have access to it.
Mhm.
So he just asked them about Stoner Cats. This is amazing.
From the standpoint of federal securities law, is there a legal difference between buying a Yankee ticket that offers you the experience of a Yankee game and buying an NFT that offers you the experience of an animated web series?
Again, I don't want to comment on any one specific.
That's just go to. I don't want to comment on any one. Well, just the one we just handed you, dude. We just handed you that.
How about that?
Yeah.
SEC charges the creator of the Stoner Cats web series for unregistered offering of NFTs.
That was Ashton Kutcher, right? I know he was behind that project.
I don't know if he was the creator of.
He was the main dude. It was
They're
him and
stoned for
Mila,
about
whatever his wife's project.
dollars, regardless of whether your offering involves beavers, chinchillas, or animal-based NFTs under federal security law. It's the economic reality of the offering, not the label you put on it or the underlying objects that guides the determination of what an investment contract and therefore a security. Then it's therefore hardly surprising, as the order finds, that Stoner Cats sold its entire supply of NFTs in 35 minutes, generating proceeds of over $8 million, most of which were then resold, not held as collectibles, in the secondary market within months. Those are the facts. Let's see who was here.
Those are the facts, Jack.
Oh, this is the investigation was done by these guys, and that's it. When did they update it last? September, a year ago. Well, that's it. So they went after the Stoner Cats. Here, I mean, it's all right here. According to SEC order, Stoner SC2 violated the Securities Act of 1933 by offering and selling these crypto asset securities to the public in an unregistered offering that was not exempt. But here you go again. The crypto asset security. Remember they made up that terminology?
They're so crazy, Jeff. It's like this is what happens. You have these rogue government agencies, unelected bureaucrats running nuts.
And what is SC2 versus Stoner Cat NFTs? Because they're using them interchangeably. It's hard to follow.
I have no idea, but look at this.
Oh, the Stoner Cats were the NFT, and SC2 sold it.
Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher's Stoner Cats NFTs get smoked by the end.
Smoked.
Do you think it's weird that they were on a show together, and she was underage at the time when they played? He played the boyfriend of hers, and then they end up getting married like 20 some years later. That's weird. I don't know. It seems odd.
They got back together.
Yeah, I mean, they were Stoner Cats, and an adult animated show, house cats, to become sentient after being exposed.
Oh, it's right here. They charge Stoner Cats 2 LLC or SC2 for unregistered offering. That's what. Okay,
it's just stupid.
SC2 is the name of their thing. All right, Richie.
Well, it was a settlement. It's a fait accompli. It's not an ongoing litigation. You can comment on it.
But it's
a just they're just it's like a Stoner Cat just playing with them with the paws, like banging this empty head back and forth.
About how is something offered and sold? Is it offered and sold as an investment contract? Or are individuals looking to a common enterprise anticipating profits based on the efforts?
Well, I'm familiar with the definition. You're avoiding the question. See, here's the danger I see with the Gensler theory of investment contracts.
It's right? Actually the Supreme Court's theory of investment.
Well, your idiosyncratic interpretation of the Supreme Court.
Idiosyncratic.
The expectation or promise that an object could appreciate in value or that an object could be sold at a profit in the secondary market, that expectation or profit could be retrospectively attributed to just about any collectible or any consumer good or any piece of art or any piece of music. The trouble with the Gensler theory of investment contracts is that it's so open-ended that it lacks anything resembling a limiting principle. It blurs the line between collectible and security, between art and security.
That's it.
That's
all
it.
you got. That's all we have.
But that's all you need, because that was brilliantly done,
Hammered
man.
in. Like how he wouldn't comment on the case. I won't get into the specifics. Well, he's referencing it specifically to
Right.
talk about it. Like, why
That's what
can't you
kills
talk
me.
about it? And the case is, that's it. It's over.
That's what
There you
kills
go.
me. And then so you had Patrick McHenry, who chairs this commission, talking to, remember they used to call her Crypto Mom?
Crypto mom, not
Crypto Mom,
anymore.
Hester Peirce, right?
I think what's happening is that we're trying to be ambiguous because the legal precision carries with it real implications. And this is why people have been coming to us and saying we need clarity. Is the token itself a security?
No.
Or is it part of an investment contract? Is it being sold together with an investment contract? If it is, what is that investment contract and how long does it track along with the token? By using imprecise language, we've been able to sort of suggest that the token itself is a security apart from that investment contract, which has implications for secondary sales. It has implications for who can list it. And I think this is absolutely, we've fallen down on our duty as a regulator not to be precise. And so tucking into a footnote that, yes, we admit that now actually the token itself is not a security, that's something that we should have admitted long ago and then started wrestling with the difficult questions.
Maybe so.
So
Yeah, but and listen, I mean, the whole when you look back at the Howie case, you look back at the Orange Groves, you look back at the way they were packaging it. Again, this is was supposed to be in the nature of, there's the balloons, Jeff, of
Balloons.
of protecting investors, right? That was the whole thing. It's like, but Gensler's always talking about disclosure. What if you disclose up front and say, like, hey, this is an investment contract. We're selling, like, the whole idea of calling it a security and having some goon operation called the SEC over your back. The whole thing is just, it's ridiculous because there's so many other ways to rip people off. And now you're going to tell them, well, and Ritchie Torres talks about the absurdity. He keeps making the correlation between a Yankees ticket and a Stoner, NFT, which basically do the same thing. So what if you buy a digital version of something? You buy the real version of something that gives you access to a game that you get to save that ticket. This gives you access to a cartoon series. Like, he just couldn't wiggle out of that, Jeff.
Right. It's crazy.
It's a weirdo.
He won't reference it.
He's just a weird, he's an odd duck, man. He's beyond an odd duck, I think. You just wonder, he's beyond weirdo. He's insane.
That too.
So, Jeff,
Insane
how
weirdo.
You know how Trump, they talked about Trump and, like, he paid off somebody, Stormy Daniels, and how bad that was. Well, here's Massey. Massey's bringing some correlation here. And this whole thing always pissed me off. And someone has to get to the bottom of it. But let's just check out the weird similarities of Congress compared to Trump.
Can't make this up.
So, Congress has paid over $17 million in hush money for sexual misconduct inside of the offices in these buildings.
What?
And what's more is that was taxpayer money, right? The allegation is that President Trump paid $130,000 of his own money. But here in Congress, there may be some on this dais. I mean, I'm for turning loose all of these records. Who in here has had the taxpayer pay for their sexual misconduct charges, the hush money? I bet there's some over there. There may be some over here. I don't know, but I do know it's taxpayer money. And I do know not a single penny of it has been turned in as a campaign finance expense. Is the FEC going to investigate the $17 million that the Congress has paid to settle, behind closed doors, these sexual misconduct allegations?
Gotta love that, Jeff. Totally took him to task. Mic drop moment. But Jeff, that's a good point. It's like, imagine $17 million of taxpayer money. It's some kind of slush fund that Congress has. Like, where do they so I understand that Congress can appropriate money, but it's for the spending is not for a personal use. So where did the appropriation come for this earmarked slush fund to pay off people that you're having sexual misconduct with?
It's very bizarre.
What happened to me?
Where are you?
It's you clicked the button or something. I got sized up.
What? I didn't click anything.
It was weird. You just got really.
Who did?
You did.
What happened?
You did this.
Well, that wasn't not me.
Well, it wasn't me. I mean, what the hell's going on? We have a ghost in the machine, or what's up?
It is the ghost in the machine.
What is this ghost? And who is in the machine? What are we talking about here, man? It's like, oh my gosh. What else do we have here?
Well, we've got there's so many things like one after another.
Do you want to play the Fetterman one?
Just getting before we get there. Here's one. So Congress, obviously, you know, we're showing them just grilling, but here's one. It's Neo Cavuto brings in our other buddy in here, but it's really all about Tim Scott. I think this is the clip. Let me start it and see if it actually plays. Sometimes these don't
Does
play.
it play? That
no,
dog
because
don't play. You gotta share the audio too and all that good stuff.
I actually turned the audio on. There's an
Go
ad.
there, man.
That's pretty sweet.
What are you watching?
It's an ad for Invesco QQQ.
Okay.
Wait for the ad to be over.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. That's the thing. It's like, it's one of those videos that probably is not downloadable, right?
No.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
It's Charlie Gasparino. Hang on.
Charlie
Here we
Gasparino.
go.
Charlie Gasparino. I find myself agreeing with him a lot these days, and that's odd too. But
Yeah. All right, here we go. So
Dark.
there's our buddy. Turn
There
that
we
up.
go.
Here we go. Look at this. Back it up a little bit. Hopefully, don't have to watch the ad again. No. Here we go.
Chair Gensler, do you plan to stay on if President Trump is elected? Chairman Gensler, a lot of Kamala Harris's donors want you to step down if she wins. What do you make of that? Sir, do you plan to stay on if President Trump wins re-election? If you don't plan to stay on, what is your next plan?
Runs like a little
That is a
wussy.
persevering producer.
Oh, yeah.
This kind of sounds like our Charlie. It's sort of a bipartisan bashing here. I'm not across the board, Charlie, but what do you make of this?
You didn't hear mutter like tell Gasparino.
Well, we had to be careful because that audio was just coming in. But go
James
ahead.
did a great job. You know, we pay our people to do that here. We don't.
He learns from the best. He learns. Why is Gensler getting to best? It's one thing when the Republicans are going after him. Now it's Democrats. What's the problem?
Everybody
Well, I
hates
think a
him.
lot of Democrats are on
Hated by
board,
everybody.
and they think and they're in corporate America, and they think he's been not just liberal. He's been so progressive that it's a detriment to the economy. I'll give you an example, Neil. I had dinner about 2 months ago with a former top
to the economy.
TV executive, a guy that ran a network. He no longer does, but he expressed the opinion of many in the TV world, and this is Hollywood. This guy ran a network. Usually votes Democrat. He called him a communist, and he said what he's doing in terms of just the heaping of regulations on business, demanding of
DEI,
climate disclosures that no one could figure out how to do them, the stopping of deals is so far left that it's bad for the economy. So this is somewhat bipartisan. I wrote about it in my column last week that he has a secret plan.
He's aged a little
to
bit.
stay there no matter who gets elected, because
how young he looks there.
Because Kamala Harris, if
Looks
she
a lot
gets
younger
elected,
there than
would probably
he
want
does
her
now,
own person,
right?
Someone a little more to the center, from what I gather. So if Kamala Harris gets
Look at
in
him
there,
now. Look at him.
he's going to go to Elizabeth Warren, who essentially is his rabbi, the progressive
rabbi.
We'll have to go to battle.
What the hell is Charlie talking about?
Probably cave to that, because that's a battle you don't want to fight.
There's another video on
he's
on the
looking to
two
stick around. He's going to
Warren
force
and
Trump to try to fire
Gensler.
him, and not just fire him. Even if Trump fires him, apparently because
can't fire him.
His term ends in 2025 or 2026, you can't really fire him. You can maybe throw him out of the building,
make it
revoke
uncomfortable
his
for him.
computer access.
Yep.
You can't fire.
Let's pause for a second. You can.
Designate another.
You can, because if they take the House and Senate, all you have to do is pass, what is it, Warren Davidson's bill, or is it Tom Emmer? They have a bill that's one of them that basically eliminates his position. Davidson, you pass it through the House, through the Senate, Trump signs it, boom, one day, done. and then he's out. So there's a way to get rid of him.
Then they would have to make it retroactive. That
Yeah.
it starts
before 2020, before he's
Right.
real.
Right.
We're
Yeah,
going to go back to the beginning. Well, you can't do that. Well, what the hell? There's no rules. We can do whatever the hell we
Right.
want.
I want to see where they had Tim Scott in.
What's Tim Scott
Nothing.
have to do with it?
Nothing. I don't know.
What does
But
Tim Scott
we
have to
kind
do
of get
with
the idea. I know. I thought he was in that clip. Apparently not. This is the whole title of this thing was Tim Scott urges accountability for SEC after hearing is postponed. And that's the title. And then that's the video. Wrong
Gotcha.
video, wrong title. That's how that goes. That's what they do. That is what they do. Elizabeth Warren, this is your buddy. I think you love it. Love this clip.
Okay.
There's no clip, just a statement.
What is it? See it. Where's the statement? Put it on the screen.
See, just moving it around. The statement from her. For far too long, banks have been able to get a free pass to discriminate.
Oh, God.
Now the banking industry is suing to avoid stronger standards and accountability. It's outrageous, and I'll keep pressing for reform. So it's just like she's going to keep doing. So she's had this opinion for a really long time. She's backed by the financial, infrastructure
Banks love her.
industry. The banks love her, but she comes out. She says this because obviously she's trying to appeal to her base, and it's outrageous. She's going to keep pressing him to reform, but that's it. There's no meat to it.
There's no.
It's just a
It's all
statement. It's just outrageous. So that's what she's saying. But I look at it, it's like this David Katz, like the irony of it, right up to 2000. Look at that as they come out, as she specifically comes after and tries to decimate the crypto industry.
We're going to
How bad
encourage. I mean,
everybody is in
yeah, words matter, and if you use weak words that don't do anything, it's the same as you. And if you're the sitting vice, I mean, listen, she would totally turn around how much support if she comes out and says, "Listen, we don't believe in litigation." What's the phrase? We don't believe in enforcement by litigation. I am right now going to demand Gary Gensler's resignation right here and now. Do you think for a moment that she's not going to pick up support? If you were true, she's not, because it's all a bunch of bullshit, Jeff.
That's right.
Everybody knows it. It's all a bunch of.
And everybody knows. Here's this.
Everybody
one.
knows it's ridiculous.
Here's another good one right here. Check this out.
We got her.
It's a good one right here. Check this out.
In an era where bipartisanship can feel scarce, Gensler has done such a terrible job running the SEC that he has managed to unite members on both sides of the aisle, condemning his failed leadership. Gary Gensler has worked to consolidate his own power, even though it means crushing opportunities and, frankly, the financial future of this country. Rogue bureaucrats like Gensler are supposed to be working for the people, not reigning over them. He has wasted a large part of the SEC's resources to wage war on the crypto industry. The strategy, however, has not been successful for him as the SEC continues to lose again and again in the courts on its crusade against the digital asset innovation in this country. It's time for the SEC to return to its mission and protect opportunities for every American who wants to participate in the greatest capital markets in the world. Digital asset innovation is an important part of that. What Gary Gensler doesn't understand is fighting against crypto innovation in America isn't going to stop it. He is only going to push crypto innovation off of American soil. This is exactly how disasters like FTX occur. The United States should want digital asset businesses under its regulatory umbrella and purview so that we have a safer digital asset ecosystem. Many people are concerned that Kamala Harris would actually appoint Elizabeth Warren or Gary Gensler to be her Treasury Secretary,
Interesting.
which would only make matters worse. Their mission to upend free markets, innovation, and global competitiveness would destroy our financial system. We can't let that happen. America is ready for the pro-crypto president, and there's only one candidate who has promised to fire Gary Gensler on day one. In an era
There you go.
One candidate right now that could actually do that. But again, if it was all gaslighting, if it was real, I mean, you had the. I mean, imagine how much. Imagine if she goes, all right, we're stopping Operation Choke Point, 2.0. No, none of it, Jeff. None of it at all. It's
right. Nothing.
I find it to be insane. Like, you have such an opportunity, and everyone's like, "Yay!" She's an empty suit. So he said something very important about representing we the people, right? Giving something to we people. Well, here's President Trump and his statement about that.
The greatest in the United States Constitution is its first three beautiful words. They are, "We the people." Generations of Americans have sacrificed to maintain the promise of those words, the promise of our country and of our great history. In America, the people govern, the people rule, and the people are sovereign. I was elected not to take power, but to give power to the American people where it belongs. In foreign affairs, we are renewing this founding principle of sovereignty. Our government's first duty is to its people, to our citizens, to serve their needs, to ensure their safety, to preserve their rights, and to defend their values. As President of the United States, I will always put America first. Just like you, as the leaders of your countries, will always and should always put your countries first.
Solid.
Oh, compare that to Miss Kamala Ding Dong reading off a teleprompter.
Man, even Bukale's speech was extremely, passionate from the heart, and he was talking about how he's going to try to do what he can do to weather the storm, as El Salvador, has freedom of expression. They want that, and he's looking around the world as things are moving in a very Marxist direction.
Well,
they've changed a lot. You can't knock the dictatorship too much.
First of all, I've always wondered, and I always thought to myself, like, when you heard about dictators, I said, like, would there ever be a dictator that had good intentions? Yeah. And there is.
They all believe
his name is Bukele. He is a dictator with good intentions, and I always wonder what that would look like. And people are like, "Yeah, I love the guy too, but he's a dictator with good intentions." You don't lock up 80,000 people without due process and say, "Well, because what happens if the left candidate gets in next time, and then locks up 80,000 of the other people and said, yep, they're bad, no due process, good luck." And then what if you what if you let the rest of them just go to the U.S. and enter the U.S. and say, "Screw you"? Yeah. And what if the way he investigated as a cabinet, great, but go through the channels. It's the first time in history we've had a dictator with good intentions, and who knows? I hope it runs well. I like to see what he's doing, but again, they don't have a U.S. Constitution that keeps them it real.
That's part of the problem.
That's part of the problem. But again, the whole entire world, we're coming up on 250 years of a country, and not one country thought, "Hey, that U.S. Constitution that gives the power to the people and keeps the government, tells the government what it can't do, sounds like a remarkably good idea. Why don't we try that or something similar?" No governments want that. It's the most amazing project that's ever been tried in the history of the world. I mean, the Magna Carta was a good start, but the U.S. Constitution is a freaking amazing document, Jeff.
Oh yeah, much better than the Magna Carta.
Well, the Magna Carta was just fluff for the people. It's like, oh, you feast, yeah, we'll go throw you an extra piece of fish every once in a while. It's make them feel better.
Give it to the peasants. Peasants have to feel good too.
Peasants are people too. Yeah, it didn't really work out that well. It sounded like it was like one of those things. It was a good paper. It sounded like a great idea, but
yeah.
So I want to throw this video up here too, because this talks to President Trump when the cameras are off and nobody knew about this. But listen to this story about Trump.
He came to Maui.
He came with an empty plane.
Yes.
Did you know that Trump's daughter came with a plane full of generators She brought Skylink. She was undercover. I have pictures of her. She partnered with the church up the street and put out a big, huge meal for everybody, and no press covered that. I think Trump is the great negotiator, and we need somebody like him to negotiate. I mean, look what he did with RFK Jr. just recently. That's the art of the deal right there.
Yeah,
perfect example.
He can solve things and wrap things up, and I believe if he does become president, he's going to help America first. Do you believe
Absolutely,
that?
Absolutely. And I'm all for legal immigration, like most people.
Mm-hmm.
We want people that come into our country to be vetted. We don't want criminals. We don't want fentanyl. It's killing us. And look at, Trump went after the opioid crisis, the big pharma, and that's why they tried to kill him.
Yep.
Tried everything else.
What do you think about that clip, Jeff?
Spot on. You know, it's the stuff that you don't see that reveals the character of the person. The stuff that we don't see about Harris and Biden, when it comes out, it's really bad stuff. The stuff that they want you to see, they try to portray, you know, it's constant, just word salad. They're just throwing propaganda pieces at you. And then you'll hear the left, the narrative of how they continuously try to attack Trump, how they've attacked Republicans, how they've attacked conservatives. It's been ongoing. You know, it's a demonization. When you belittle the person and you demonize them, make them evil, try to make them less than human, then you can get your minions, your foot soldiers out there to do things like, you know, burning city blocks down, perpetrating violent acts. They can get them to do so many things because they believe, they've got them to believe that they're actually acting in the right way. And we've got to end this. And it's interesting now that those on the left have called for an end of violent rhetoric, and then they try to label it on Trump. But those that are responsible for the violent rhetoric are the very ones calling for an end to the violent rhetoric, and they've spent, the past 10 years in violent rhetoric. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, we do need it. It would be cool to stream the debates and chat about it as it's going down. That'd be kind of cool. It's on the October 15th. Maybe we'll do a special episode of that. We could all gather together and sort of watch together. But Scotty's bringing up a pretty good point here, Jeff.
What do you say?
Scotty said, do you think the future U.S. Treasury Secretary Elizabeth Warren would bring back the Indian penny? Asking for a friend. Be a fake Indian penny. It would have her photo on it, right? It would have her picture.
Be a plastic
her mom
Indian
on
penny.
her papa. I gotta find that story where she talks about that.
Horseman.
It's just like she's gonna give us she's gonna be the fake Indian. I mean, it's insane. Look at this, Jeff.
Yeah. So what do you say there? Oh, when
he
you
says when
sign
the checks of the fake Russian collusion against President Trump, getting fired isn't all you have to worry about.
That's a good point. There you go.
There you are.
So John Deaton forwarded this clip on, saying, too bad that's senior senator from Massachusetts who sits on the banking committee overseeing Gensler won't do her job and engage in actual oversight. In fact, in complete violation of her oath, she stated that she didn't want to replace Gensler place him in a tough spot. Her job on that committee requires her to place Gensler in a tough spot. But I think
I have the clip. Do you have it? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. This is something that we've seen, we've heard about, but I think this just puts it all into perspective.
Senator Elizabeth Warren and her office coordinated testimony with the Security and Exchange Commission ahead of a Senate hearing. The Heritage Foundation Oversight Project, of which I'm associated, through a FOIA request, obtained emails from Warren's office to the office of Chairman Gary Gensler 2 days before his Senate testimony back in September of 2021. The email from Warren's economic policy advisor includes a list of questions. Get this, a list of questions that Senator Warren planned to ask, along with suggested answers for the chairman of the SEC. The advisor also wrote, quote, "Let me know if you're okay with the questions as currently written." 2 days later, she sent a follow-up, quote, "Let me know if it's looking like the chair has any issue with the framing of the questions. Definitely don't want to put him in a tough spot," end quote. And it appears the chairman didn't have any issue with these questions because Senator Warren asked almost verbatim from the email. Check this out.
Chair Gensler, advocates say crypto markets are all about financial inclusion, but the people who are most economically vulnerable are the ones who are most likely to have to withdraw their money the fastest when the market
What a
drops.
set of questions.
Does
My
this sound
God.
like the path to financial inclusion to you?
No, it doesn't.
No, it
I
does
mean,
not.
lob the
It's
easy
shocking.
pitch. This is stupid.
Shocking.
Just
Shocking
stupid.
stuff that,
Stupid people, Jeff.
yeah,
It's too much.
it is.
By the way, did Charlie ever pay that dinner back? That steak
I don't
dinner?
think he did.
I
No.
don't think he did either. He was supposed to.
We never
But I
got
don't
our
think it ever
steak dinner
happened.
either from Mr. B and Alex.
Yeah, we never did. That's never happening, Jeff. But I wanted to play. I ran across this video. It's just interesting to show you like different snapshots in time where you have a period of time where you have Trump for one thing, one side, and you have Kamala Ding Dong on the other side from a period of history, but going back to the early 2000s. Checking in. Good. Check this out.
Can depend on the testimony of the child accuser.
In general, the child will be able to recall and recollect.
There's a young Kamala Ding Dong right there. She's
look at
actually,
that.
she's not going laughing and doing weird shit. She's actually just like talking. I almost didn't know that was her because she was actually speaking.
With some detail, the incident, and that is persuasive to a jury, even if it is the only testimony that is available.
Jackson gave
Interesting.
a wave when he was released after booking. He's scheduled for arraignment in January.
This is Michael
Michael's been a
Jackson.
long-time
Oh,
resident
right.
of Trump Tower, and last night the Donald strongly reiterated his defense of Jackson with Larry King by going
That's
after
amazing.
the accuser's mother.
She's had plenty of experience at going after people, and she goes after them viciously and violently, and I saw a story and I read another story about some of the things she's done, and I don't believe it.
But you know what it's like when an indictment comes down.
It's tough.
It's presumption.
It's tough. It's tough to win, but I have a feeling he's going to win, Larry. The interesting thing is I've known Michael from many different standpoints, and Michael would spend a lot of time with my kids. I have beautiful kids, and at the time, like at Mar-a-Lago, and even in Trump Tower, the kids were very young. Michael would come, play with the kids. He just loved children. He was not a child molester.
So there you got Kamala Harris, the prosecutor, on one side of it, prosecuting, and then you've got Trump who's defending him, and he did get off. So there you go.
Yep.
Incredible. Trump comes up with that always right.
Norseman is saying that the cackling is from being on drugs.
That could be too, yeah. The weird
always-
cackling,
always
or
out of it.
drunk or something.
Drunk.
She's
She's
slurring her
definitely drunk.
speech.
Oh yeah, it's very bizarre.
Slurs her speech all the time. But what's funny is they got that tampon Tim out there running to a mic every 5 seconds. I'm
It's
still
very
shocked
bizarre.
we're the same age, Jeff. I don't know what happened in his life, but man, some bad shit happened to him because I'm like, he's a month older than me. And I'm like, he looks like he's in his mid-70s. And he's running around out there, jumping around like a nut job. Man, I don't know. It's hard to understand. It's hard to understand what's going on with that guy.
He's a weirdo.
They're all weirdos, man. They're all deviants. They're all like into all kinds of weird stuff. So you want to hear that? You want to see the border czar in action here? Here's the border. This is the border czar, Kamala Harris, in action.
With deportation, up with education, down 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 with.
So the borders are talking about
Weird.
down with the deportation. I mean, there's so much condemning video, but people are like, well, I don't know, it's a deep fake. Nobody knows. She didn't say that. Here's the video. That's not her. Well, she didn't mean it. She was. I mean, what is wrong with people, Jeff? Have we gotten to
Can't
this?
dance like AOC.
AOC is another nutter, man. What a
Heavily sedated. She definitely is sedated. There's definitely something that's totally
something
off
going
with her.
on, right? There's something up with her. She can't be. It's not normal to be laughing and cackling like that and carrying on. And
no, it's
to be a president. I mean, it's not even. To be a VP and doing that's pretty sad, Jeff.
Right. Trying to see where we had. There's so many clips of her where she just sounds drunk. Oh, here we go. Let me see.
Down with deportation. Up.
How
With
bizarre
education.
is that? It's just bizarre. Oh no, this isn't the one. I
She's
guess
just
she sounded drunk here too.
So she always sounds drunk.
No, that's not the best one.
But if you look in that clip, she was actually coherent and she was actually making a statement. Like, what happened to her? I guess
Right.
drugs or something. There's something. going
Drugs,
on. Abusive,
alcohol. Oh yeah.
something.
She's definitely abusing something. But it's just weird. Just very, very bizarre. Here you go. There's new video proof. She's still hanging out with Juicy Smollett.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Juicy Smollett. Ay.
No way. A Harris sign in Phoenix. I haven't seen any Harris signs here.
I haven't
you
seen
seen
any
a Harris
signs.
sign anywhere?
Never. I see
No
nothing but
way.
Trump signs.
Yeah. Imagine a Harris sign down here.
No, I don't see it. Well, if you probably go into like Margate in some neighborhood, you might see one. Maybe into the deep bowels of Miami, you might see one, but no, I don't know if. Oh, even Boca has. I haven't seen anything.
No. Crazy stuff.
Speaking of Miami, Jeff, we still haven't heard. They keep putting out that thing. Come and join us. Join us at Swell for Ripple.
Well,
and meanwhile, I responded to the email like, "Hey, what's going on? Are we going to get tickets for this?" And they're like, "Nothing."
Let's see if it's sold out already.
It's a goose egg. It's not sold out. You can get tickets for it, but again, they keep advertising that you can do it. I still don't have a. I guess I can go check real quick, but I checked like 2 days ago. I didn't have anything.
Ripple Swell.
Let's see.
I didn't get one. It's October 15th and 16th.
Yeah. Well, somebody told me that I was talking to online, so they got a rejection from it.
Oh, an actual rejection? That's better than nothing.
Said, "Hey, Ripple team,
Gateway between North and South America, Miami has always been a strategic hub for both continents. And it's definitely a city that's long been committed to innovation and development.
That's right. Look how beautiful Miami is.
That's why I'm very pleased to share that Ripple will be holding our 8th annual Swell conference in Miami. Ripple's focus as a company has always been global through our products around payments, custody, and tokenization, but also with Ripple Swell, from Toronto to London to Singapore, and most recently Dubai. That's why we're excited to bring our customers and partners, industry thought leaders, regulators, and policymakers from around the world together in this special city. I hope to see you in Miami.
Miami.
Well, listen, Brad, I'd love to take you up on that because I did attend the proper party, and Jeff and I, just in case you didn't know, we did co-MC the largest, and it's bigger than Vegas. I hate to tell you people, but it's bigger than Vegas.
Better.
And Ripple was a sponsor, and 3 people from Ripple were actually doing keynotes. So we introduced them, and we sat on stage with them. But we can't get into Swell. You see how this works? And I felt bad too because it was another, I forget his handle on X, but he was like, "I live in Naples. It would have been just a straight shot across. It would have been awesome, 90 minutes away. I could have driven in, and it would have been awesome to attend." He got rejected. I'm like, "Well, dude, at least you got rejected. We got nothing." I responded like, "Hey, can we get into the conference?" Nothing. So apparently we're not going. So
Elon Sauce is in Dem-controlled Boca. That's how you get it.
That's how you get it.
Norseman, that was just like the last election. We know what the outcome of that was. We know they cheated that one. And you've got Jeff thought he was tripping.
Tripping, yo.
Oh, here we go. Norseman says, "I travel to an IT in PA, Delaware, Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey. Hardly see any Harris signs, all Trump."
Wow.
Man, because it's
even in Jersey, no shit. Incredible.
Jeff in Austin. Well, in Austin, I'm sure you're going to see Harris.
Well, Austin's a lefty city, so there you go.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of goes without saying, right?
It's like this great conservative state, and you got Austin, which is a total bizarro world.
Yeah,
it feels like you're in like little New York or something. It's weird.
Yeah,
that's what isn't that they're saying? Let's keep Austin weird.
Keep Austin weird. It's where the original Whole Foods was.
There you go.
It's actually pretty good. So here we go, right here. This wave of innovation. You can see some scenes from the March 2024 event, but 2025 is coming up. This is by far, there you are, Chip. You're walking up on stage.
Look at that.
This is by far one of the best events that has taken place. It was really, really outstanding. There's blockchain backer. Got some post interview.
Yeah, I mean, and we got to hang out with the Ripple guys. I mean, really phenomenal.
Yeah.
Humans.
Yep.
They were very approachable, very cool. Wanted to hang out and have a few beers. Wanted to talk about just about any topic you wanted to bring up. They weren't off-putting at all. They were very social. They wanted to hang out longer because I know one time the PR person came over and like, all right, it's time to go, and they kind of like snuck back in to continue and drink with the XRP community. It was really phenomenal, man. I mean, so I don't know. It doesn't seem like we're going to Swell, Jeff. That's what it sounds like to me. That's just all I'm telling you. We can't even get in. This is on August 24th. It says, Chip, thank you for your interest in attending Ripple Swell 2024. We're reviewing your request and to attend, and we'll be in touch. Thanks, Team Ripple. Well, that was over a month ago, man. Nothing. They're still reviewing. I don't know who goes to those things, but again, you got to be in the special club. And Jeff, just like the special clubs, we're not in that special club.
Apparently not. We didn't make that. Jeff Moore was really good.
Or Groucho Marx always said something like, "If
Neil Smith.
I don't want to be part of any club that would have me as a member."
Here you go, Neil Smith, Matt Donovan.
Yeah, I think Matt's moved on. One of these guys has moved on though. Hang out with Josh Kim, man, it's just amazing human beings. Really, one of the best events I've been to.
Ross Edwards. Ross was cool.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome, man.
Becker, DS. That was awesome.
Yeah, Dirk was there, man. Dirk had us set up, and we got to have lunch with Dirk. It was awesome. I had lunch with him. We got to hang out on the beach with him. We didn't plan that one, but that was fun. Yeah, and so they'll be back with another big event, and it was cool because it was I just thought it was a very Rob was there with Bin Chicken. Bin Chicken.
No, you can't pull up the picture of it. Kind of if you look at the setting, look at it, just the whole layout, everything was just put together so nicely.
It was all
really
non-for-profit, Jeff. That was the whole best part of it. Non-for-profit. They did this out of the goodness of their hearts, and it crushed, and it was the best conference ever. So anyway, dude, we got to get out of here. I got to get going. I got to do some things.
Is it that time? What time is it? Oh, look at that. Already.
It's time, man. It is that time.
That's it. Got to bounce, Norseman. See ya.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
it. There you go. Lisa Mrzinski arguing on Morning Joe that media has anti-Harris bias for simply asking about Harris policy plans and proposals. There you go.
That's rich.
That's BMAC even more crazy. She literally said that her policies are irrelevant and Trump is so bad that it shouldn't matter how Harris would govern. How stupid are people?
Yeah. You don't remember 4 years ago? You're that stupid? You don't remember 4 years ago? What's wrong with these people? That gaslighting worked in the before Trump became president the first time, but it's ridiculous.
Show your proof of donation to Kamala Fund directly to Larson, and you'll get a VIP invite.
Oh, yeah,
that's probably the case.
Why did I think about that?
That's exactly what it is. That's what we need to do. Let's get the donations ready.
Yeah, we're out of here. Thank you for that. Appreciate that, Charles. Let's get out of here. We are getting out of here.
Stay safe. We're getting ready for Helene. A little bit of a hurricane party.
Coming down, baby. Then business as usual.
That's right.
All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Chip and Jeff out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.